Hello and welcome to the Africa Hub for the Sustainable Creative Economies Knowledge Hub, Nairobi. My name is Ogake Mosome and I'm the lead for the AHSC Nairobi Fashion Hub at the University of Nairobi. I'm here today with Sandra Chege, Head of Arts for the British Council's work in Kenya. Sandra will be talking to us about the role of the British Council and her work on fashion development projects, including Creative DNA, and sharing some top tips for starting out in the field.
I do consider the British Council an intermediary in all the countries in which we work. In Kenya, through the Creative DNA program, the way that it was designed is to offer support to the sector, the fashion sector, through providing business support, being able to support policy and advocacy, research, and storytelling. Now, the role of the British Council in this instance is to be able to convene, to work with young people to sharpen their skills, whether they had a formal education or are self-taught, and to also get opportunities to work with like-minded creatives in Kenya and the UK to support the development of their skills, but also sharpen their confidence to understand what is possible for them in their career as fashion practitioners. The Creative DNA program is going to be in its fourth iteration by August 2023. In these three iterations, we've really been learning how best to support the needs of the sector. We started off with the business incubator having 11 participants from Nairobi primarily in the first instance, and then recognized the offer could take more emerging businesses. So now we work with 20 at a go, and also work across different sectors within that fashion, within the fashion value chain. So for example, we will have jewelry designers working with young people who actually design their clothing, and we are interested in seeing whether there is room for homeware and stylists in future iterations. When it also comes to the research sector, what we've done is try to make sure that the approaches are aligned with the interests of government as outlined in the 2030 agenda. And so being able to support action research in the instance of the Uhuru markets with HIVA was really trying to see how can the practitioners in these sectors be supported to develop their skills, whether they are technical or business skills, to be able to grow their businesses in the markets as they exist. And then also looking at co-created and co-delivered research in the instance of sustainable fashion, for example. We worked with Fashion Revolution UK and Fashion Revolution Kenya to really look at what is of interest to these sectors and produced a collaborative research piece on what is possible, and also to make sure that they are able to platform their research, share it as creatively as they can. And it's a piece of research that was commissioned in 2020, but that still informs the direction of our work. So essentially, how we make sure that we are as current as is possible is that we review the insights from the business support incubator that we work with, understand the challenges of the young people that we work with, and feed that back into the research arm of our work. And then storytelling is a really core part of how we work to make sure that some of the challenges and opportunities and interests across these four pillars can be shared with audiences. This is where the Fashion Fridays online sessions that we run comes into play, as well as the networking piece and the commissioning of new visual work that can support the marketing of the cohorts in which we work. Key here is to try and make sure that we can stimulate further engagement with general audiences on what are the interests of the sector. So being able to package conversations about sustainable fashion, for example, in an everyman's approach, making sure that there can be articles, interviews, and long-form writing that explore some of these challenges like secondhand fashion and the impact in the market in Kenya. Oftentimes, it seems like there's a disconnect between the understanding of the opportunities and where to look. So, for example, understanding the opportunities for financing the ambitions through the projects is limited. So what we've been able to do through that business support opportunity is make sure that the coaches and the facilitators are able to create tours, for example, of local production houses, bring together other financiers so that they can understand what those opportunities are. So that one's a very tangible piece on what can I do next to grow my business and what are the resources available. There's also the piece around contextualizing their work in a bigger market. So being able to see how what they do connects to what is available in Africa and also in the UK. We do that through opportunities to travel. So being able to have a delegation go to the London Fashion Week, for example, and connect with their peers also creates a shared understanding of where does my work sit? Am I on my own? Because a lot of the feedback that we get is a sense of isolation from some of these creatives who are still building their confidence in their product and in their knowledge, especially if they have no formal training. It feels quite overwhelming for them to find those resources and find those networks without support. We find that most are not formally trained and are either 2 to 4 years into their businesses and are often either working on their own and therefore are every piece of the business. They are the creative, they are the maker, and then they are the distributor. So when it comes to being able to recognize what they need to do, it often becomes overwhelming, or if they find something that they're good at, they will often stick to that and kind of hope that it drives their business forward. I would say that there are very many others like you, and there are opportunities to connect. And we have found a real generosity of spirit with emerging designers and practitioners, that the recognition when they work in a cohort that they can strengthen each other's platforms and opportunities through co-creation and sharing and peer-to-peer mentorship has really, really been an incredible thing to see. So I would say, ask others what they've been able to do, find ways to connect with those who are at different stages of their journey. It could be those who have gone before you, or those who are at your same level, or even those who are in their very early stages, because everybody will have a different perspective of the work and be able to connect you to even a supplier or a journalist or a marketing expert who can really make a difference to how you're thinking about your business. So don't be afraid to ask, because there are people who are willing to share, and we see it in every single cohort that we've had, that they have collaboratively designed and delivered capsule collections together, been able to hire the required staff by sharing costs. So bring a collaborative spirit to your work and you're likely to go further.